All right, ready?
All right, let's do it.
This is going to be the first intro, and then so I'll do the clap thing, and then clap it, and then we'll start the comic. And don't forget to look at the camera. And so today we are going to be tasting.
You're going to go back quickly. Okay, cut. All right.
He was going.
I'm like, they're still blind. Oh,
Welcome everyone to another Wine and Comics pairing show. I'm Dave.
And I'm Dallas.
And we are going to be doing our first episode of Baroque versus Bargain today because we will be doing a blind tasting of 6 wines, all the same kind of wine. Some of them will make you Baroque if you try and buy them, and others are bargain priced, or at least we don't know if they're a bargain at that price. We're going to be tasting them and finding that out today. Maybe they're not even at that price, but we're going to find out.
And whatever you do, don't take our word for it. Go try them yourself.
Yes, always. We might not agree.
Yeah.
Which wines are good and which wines are bad. And of course, it's a wine and comics pairing show, so we will be pairing a comic with these wines. All right. Here we go. So first thing we need to discuss is the Barolo wines we're going to be tasting today. So let's talk a little bit about what a Barolo is. It is a region in Italy. It is, as Dallas pointed out to me, which I did not actually realize, a village in Italy. It's part of the greater Piedmont or Piedemonte region in Italy. Europe is the Old World versus the New World, which is everywhere else. And the Old World don't really label their wines by the varietal of the wine. So you're not going to see it's a Cabernet Sauvignon, it's a Merlot, it's a Chardonnay, anything like that. You're going to see where it's grown. So in this case, it's grown in Barolo. But the reason they do that is they are so heavily regulated. There are so many rules that if you know where a wine comes from, you know what's in the bottle, give or take. So in the case of Barolo, explicitly you know what's in the bottle. It is 100% the Nebbiolo grape. They're not allowed to grow anything else. They're not allowed to bottle anything else. So in this case, we know it's Nebbiolo. The Nebbiolo grape, when it comes from Barolo, it's going to be a bit more fruit forward than usual. But we also know that this is there's a website, the Wine Folly website, that describes Barolo as a ballerina kicking you in the face. So it is a graceful brutality. And this is going to play out, I'm looking forward to it, but at the same time, you know, it's a light-bodied, medium acidity, light in color.
Heavy tannin.
Heavy tannins. I mean, it is a punch in the face in terms of tannins. For those of you who aren't really aware of what tannins are or what they do, tannins come from the grape skins. If you do whole cluster, it's going to come a little bit from the grape stems and the wood around the grapes itself. But the tannins are basically, you know, when you drink like black tea, you get that dry mouth feeling. And black tea also has a lot of tannins. So that is what that is. So when you drink something and it leaves you with that kind of feeling in your mouth, that is the tannins at work. Acidity, on the other hand, actually makes you salivate. So it balances that. Nebbiolos, they generally say age at least 8 to 10 years before you open them. Otherwise, the tannins are going to be too much. In this case, we have 2015s, 2016s, and 2017s that we're going to drink today. All of which gives about 5 years on the grape, which is, well, we hope it's enough because we're going to drink all 6 of them. We have 3 expensive ones, which we paid about $50 to $120 a bottle is what they go on the retail. We have a medium-bodied one, or a medium-priced one, which we got from Whole Foods, which is $30, and then we have 2 bargain priced ones from Trader Joe's, which are both under $15. All of them properly imported from Italy DOCG certified as Barolo wines. So this is going to be super interesting. These are all wines that I cultivated for this one episode. And I did not pay that much for them because I got them from a site called the Wine Spies. And I want to pimp them a little bit because they're an amazing site. The Wine Spies are, they're a flash sale site. So there's a new wine on sale every day for some discounted amount off the average retail price, which I did buy one bottle at 90% off, which is amazing.
God bless them.
God bless them. And by the way, Wine Spies does not sponsor us. They did not pay us to say this. They did not even ask politely for us to say this. We're just saying this because we think they're an amazing site.
And they may take umbrage with us even mentioning them. Who knows?
And we'll see how their wines do today as well. We have to wait on that. But we also have comics that we have paired with this Nebbiolo. So, do you want to start? Take it away from us?
Let's start. All right. So in thinking about the Nebbiolo grapes, I knew that the grape itself has a great lineage. It's a direct connection to the Barolo village and the Piedmont region. When you think of a Barolo, you think of a Nebbiolo, and you think of the very specific region in Italy. And it's sort of region forward. And the same is true for the graphic novel comic books I've chosen. And the second reason I chose the comic I chose is because of the direct translation of the Nebbiolo grape. Nebbiolo grape, the root of the word is nebbia, which is loosely translated as a fog. And if you know anything about fog, and we live in California, so we know a little about fog, is that it can come in many different forms. It can come very dense, very light, airy, cloudy, foggy, milky. All of those terms sort of parallel something about the aesthetic of this particular graphic novel. And the graphic novel is Chiaroscuro.
Yes.
From Tony.
Troy.
I keep saying Troy.
Keep saying Tony, you do.
Honestly, I've memorized his name as Tony Little. It's Troy Little.
Troy Little.
He is a Canadian artist, writer, graphic novelist. This was released by IDW after they put this little piece together.
And this was a series. I read this series back in the day when it was individual issues.
Individual issues.
And I believe this was Dave Sim gave him a shout out, right?
Absolutely.
And showcased him in the back of the Cerebus books when they were still being published.
Yeah.
And I think I saw that. I think I saw it in Cerebus and pre-ordered it right away. So I read the individual issues. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's so Chiaroscuro, as many people say, is essentially the interplay of light, dark, shadow, and light. And to that end, this book is void of any color outside of black or white. So everything is done with shading. Everything is done with depth of field. The mood, all the ennui that you encounter in this is done with shading and darkness and light. And it is just a stellar piece. It follows the story of a character named Stephen, who's been getting the mail of another character. And then when a couple of nefarious actors show up accusing him of being the person whose mail he's been receiving, he vehemently denies it and sets off a chain of events. But I will say, if you are looking for something that ends in a nice, neat, and tidy bow, where all the arcs end up in very satisfying places, this may not be the book for you. And the same is true for the Barolo, because often the tannins, and you'll see tonight when we do our taste testing, the tannins are just so acute and slap you in the face that it's hard to experience them many times as satisfying. And in many of the reviews for this book, you will find that people leave dissatisfied for a very specific reason. I'm not going to say what that reason is. You just have to read it for yourself. But I love it. Yes. I don't need things to end in very nice, very neat.
And this collection was IDW?
It was, yes, IDW. Sure,
if you can see that?
Yeah.
Probably. You can see the tiny little, and say that's the IDW little light bulb symbol.
Yeah.
Right there.
And so, and don't mind the little water stain here, because I had a little accident before I left the house tonight. But that happens. But Troy Little's Chiaroscuro is what I am pairing with the
oh my gosh,
Barolo Nebbiolo.
It is completely worth it. I can see also that they did a little like number one, like volume one on the thing, and I don't think
there hasn't been a volume 2.
No, I don't think it's supposed to be. No. Even though Dallas just said that, like, you know, you don't want everything. If you want something where the plot is wrapped up in a nice, neat little bow, don't read this. It is more or less complete. It is complete in its way.
It is absolutely
in its way. And I get the feeling that whenever publishers put like volume 1 or number 1 on something, it's kind of them hedging their bets. They're like, I don't know, they might go back to it. And if they ever do a volume 2, we don't want thousands of copies of this out there with no number on it. Because people will be like, well, what's volume 1? Is this volume 1? I don't know. There's no number on it.
True.
So they put that on it. But this was an amazing indie comic series back in the day. Can I borrow this?
Absolutely.
Because I have not read this in years and years and years. And I would love to, but I remember just adoring this thing back in the day.
And again, the story is it's definitely not sort of breaking any mold, but the central character, the protagonist, is a character who is an artist who understands, knows, and feels his own genius, and is annoyed with popular art and the commerce surrounding popular art.
Who isn't?
Who isn't? Join the club. But I truly adore this book, this series, and I think it pairs well with the Barolo Nebbiolo.
Yes. Oh, that's amazing. Okay. I'm happy you brought that. I'm keeping it.
And Troy Little currently is in pre-orders, pre-support for a new work. So feel free to go and check out anything he's ever done or is doing. We are not paid sponsors, fans, or anything of Troy Little's. But I love this book, and hopefully you do as well.
I need to look that up. I actually did not. I had forgotten all about this book. I had forgotten about Troy Little. But I'm going to look him up and see what his latest thing is, because this was a series I remember it. The moment you whipped this out, I was like, oh my God, I'd forgotten about this, but I remember it now. Oh. And I remember loving it. Yeah.
And so it's, I'm not going to show it, but there's a panel in this fucking book that is so arresting. I'll show Dave here off camera. But what he does in terms of storytelling, first of all, one of my favorite things here is he has an Gallery Arnaud print on the actual walls in the background here, which is just so cliche for an artist. Anyway, check it out.
All right.
Troy Little.
And drink it with some Barolo.
Please.
Is what Dallas thinks.
And tell us what you think, because we're probably full
absolutely. And take a look at his latest work, whatever that is, which I need to look up too. For me, I decided to pair with some Barolo / Nebbiolo this little book, and I will see if the title will focus. It's this tiny little thin print in gold, but it is The Cats of OSTIA, ANTICA, by Julien Brier or Brier. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. But this is a book that came from Tinto Press. They have been kickstarting their annual catalogs for a couple of years now. I think this might have been the first year they did it, though I'm not sure. It's the first year I gave to it, for 2020. And they would do a Kickstarter where they would do their entire year's worth of books. So like 5 to 6 books kind of a thing. And it's like, this is our catalog for 2020. And this was the one that totally sold me on them in 2020. So Ostia Antica is a place in Italy. Ostia is a location in Italy that is still, it's a village. It's people still live in it. It's still an active village. Ostia Antica is ancient Ostia, which is a place of ruins.
And it's a World Heritage Site.
World Heritage Site. There you go. So kind of like the Colosseum and whatnot. It's a tourist attraction. But being ruins, there are plenty of cats all throughout the ruins. So this artist, Julien Brier, he went and visited Ostia Antica and saw the cats and was inspired to do this graphic novel. And it is the story of an old Italian guy. And you can see when the story starts, it is all very, I'm going to try and get this so that the light doesn't blind out the colors. So you get some kind of like when it first starts, it's gloriously, you get some yellows. When he drives to the countryside of Ostia, not Ostia Antica, you see all the verdant green, and it's all like full of life. And then he goes to dinner and passes out, quote unquote, and passes into a kind of nether world, nether region. And you can see here some of these ghoulish, wraith-like cats that are very, you can see they're very like sinuous, they're very otherworldly, they're very eerie, and he passes into this kind of limbo, and you can see the colors then go to this sort of like gray scale and slowly blend, and go into this kind of black and gray, a little bit of yellow, and slowly it blends with the pinks and the purples and the colors of life to where he is passing through the underworld. Let me see, and he joins the other denizens of the underworld. And eventually, let me see if I can find where it becomes this big, almost like Day of the Dead inspired, gorgeous, and I think it's more, because this is Italy, it's probably more like Carnival in Italy, as they usher these souls to wherever it is they're going to go. The art is amazing. This is all a wordless, I'm pretty sure it is entirely wordless graphic novel. If there is any words in here, it is very sparse. I'm pretty sure this is a pure visual narrative. The art is amazing. Now, this book is out of print, sadly. I just visited the publisher's website and it's out of stock. There's one copy on eBay if anyone wants to try and grab that one. It is amazing, though. I highly recommend it. We're going to ask if they have, before this episode actually airs, we're going to try and ask if they have any plans to reprint it, and we will put that information below in the description of the show here. But you can also go to Julien Brier. He has a website. We'll put that information in the write-up of the show below. And he is selling original pages, art pages, and prints from this book, some of the most amazing pages, and I would highly recommend them. The art is just beautiful. But this is not just the Italian connection, but because this book is about it's a very human story, it's a very gentle story, but it is also, we mentioned earlier about Barolo being this sort of graceful brutality. And I feel like ushering someone through the land of the dead to whatever lies beyond and getting them to accept and embrace that is very much of that type. It's graceful, it's human, it's the cats that usher him through the ruins of Ostia Antica in this other world they're not unsympathetic, but they are, but it is still a journey that is, trying to find what comes next in life after life is a brutal thing. And it's not something that's easily swallowable. And I won't ruin
it's the brutality of transition.
Yes. Right? Yeah. And I won't ruin how this story ends. But there is a lot of suggestion throughout the story that the main character has a choice. What that choice is, I won't ruin. What the repercussions are, depending on which choice he makes, I won't ruin either. But this is such a beautiful, beautiful graphic novel, but it is also a lighthearted and yet heavy read at the same time. It does a beautiful balance of that. So I highly recommend, if you can get your hands on a copy of this, please do. Hopefully they do have plans to get this back into print at some point, at least in digital. I don't even think it's available in digital anywhere, but they should, because this is an amazing graphic novel. It would go amazing with Barolo/Nebbiolo as well. So, all right.
Well, I will definitely be taking that off your hands.
Yeah. Well, you gave me chiaroscuro, so because I haven't read it in forever.
Because I haven't read this.
And I should mention too, being this chiaroscuro, it suddenly dawned on me, there is a Vertigo series called Chiaroscuro.
Ah, yeah.
Chiaroscuro, The Many Lives of Leonardo da Vinci. That is not this series.
Not this.
So when you Google Chiaroscuro comic book or graphic novel, make sure it is not...
Yeah.
Although...
Troy Little.
Right, Troy Little.
Start with Troy Little.
Frankly, the Vertigo series is actually really good too. So buy both if you have to. But
start with this one.
Start with this one. This is the one that we are recommending today. It is not Vertigo, it is IDW. And it is from Troy Little. And I'm going to reread this because it has been forever, and that is amazing. All right. So next up, we need to taste our 6 wines in a blind tasting.
It's going to go very, very poorly. It's going to go very poorly.
Well, but what we're going to be doing is we're going to be ranking them to decide which is our favorite, which is our least favorite. We'll see. Maybe the cheap ones get up there near the top. Maybe the expensive ones get down there near the bottom. That's going to be the fun of this. So... let's do that.
Stick with us.
All right, it's time to start tasting our first Barolo. Number 1. All right, and we don't know which one this is. We're tasting them blind. And you can see, I think, the lighting makes it look super dark, but I'm going to swirl. I did this trick on a previous episode. It's a very light garnet, as you can see. You can see it a little bit, when we put it up there. You can see that it's almost got this like port-like color to it.
It's very porty.
Yeah, but it smells. Actually, it kind of smells porty too.
It does,
now that you mention it. So you're getting like this very it smells aged.
It does.
Yeah, it does. It's got some good age on it. A lot of cherry, fruit-wise. I would call it cherry. And all of these wines, I think all of them across the board are 14.5% alcohol on these. So they're all consistent in that way. So we shouldn't, if we feel more bite on some of these than others, it's not just the content of the alcohol in it.
Oh, man.
That's the brutality. Holy shit. That's like sandpaper.
So, interestingly enough, the nose on this is very smooth and aged and porty. It's porty. It's porty. But
you know what? Again, graceful brutality. You've got that. You smell it and you look at it and you're like, oh, this is going to be gentle and it's going to be a little bit not sugar sweet, but
it's not that.
It's going to have it's going to have fruity, and then it gets in your mouth and it just sucks all the moisture out. A little bit of lips at the end. It's a little. There's some acidity in it because you do get a little saliva after the fact. But that's a tan. That was literally like concrete in your mouth, where it just dry, and you're like, whoa. I'm gonna do one more, and then we should save the rest for other sips. All right. Now that I'm used to it, that was easier. That was gentler.
Absolutely.
On second sip, and I'm getting. There's some nice floral elements in this, actually. And I'm definitely getting, there's the anise. I'm also tasting that now on that second sip.
Anise on this one.
It's very much in the aftertaste. And I can smell a little bit of like that cinnamon spice quality to it as well. But only a little. This one, I'm not getting too much spice quality to it. It's really...
The mineral is definitely...
Yeah, the fruit, the minerality...
acute in this one. It is.
And the heavy tannins. My God. Okay. We're not joking about that.
That's number 1.
All right, yep, that's number 1. We are ready to try number 2.
Also, do you want to say if you like them or not?
Not yet. And this is number 1, so it's like and I think we kind of did. We were like, whoa, but then we were like, okay, it's better on...
real time experience.
It's better on sip number 2 is us kind of being like, okay, it's growing on us. It's growing. Yeah.
This is number 2.
Number 2.
Barolo.
Woo!
Tasty.
All right. See if there's kind of difference we have here.
That's definitely a deeper... hue.
That is a totally different nose too. Totally different bouquet.
Oh yeah,
completely. Like that is not the same wine.
Yeah,
Not whatsoever. Her puppy's coming to say hello, getting ushered out. You didn't see any of it, but it's not a tiny puppy. It's a big puppy. We couldn't let her take part. All right, so this one, right away, you're getting a lot more like soil, earthy elements on the nose, where the other one had none. I mean, there was like stone mineral elements, but this one I'm getting earth. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. This seems heavier. This seems.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, that's expensive. That's.
I think this is probably going to be one of the expensive ones, but here's the interesting thing.
Yeah.
The number one, when it hit your mouth, the tannins were like instant.
Yeah.
This one, it takes a second. Mm-hmm. Like it hits your mouth and you're like, oh, this one's mellowed, and then the tannins hit. You're like, nope, no, it hasn't. Yeah. There's the tannins. There's the Nebbiolo for you.
And it's amazing. The tannins hit your mouth and your palate in a completely different place. Like this one, the first one had pucker.
Right.
That initial sort of pucker.
And this one, like, number one, like I said, it was like concrete. It like coated the mouth. And like everything just whack. Whereas this one, there's a gentler quality to it. One more sip for now. I'm not, and in this one, though, all the flavors are much more subtle.
Yeah,
they're not as powerful.
Out, nothing slapping you around.
No. I mean, it's got some fruit. It's got that cherry fruit. It's got a little bit, it's definitely got the earthiness going for it. Less spice, even that anise licorice, which is, again, in the aftertaste I'm feeling in this one. But it's much subtler than the other one. Everything is just, this is definitely more harmonious as a complete glass, even though I'm having a hard time picking out specific flavors or specific effects that it has. But it is definitely, as a sip, it's much more joyous. Yeah, it's much more enjoyable. Yeah. All right.
Huh. Number three.
All right.
I need some water on that one.
I told you. Wow, this one smells entirely different. Oh my goodness. This is fascinating. These are all supposed to be essentially the same wine. Whoa. All right, this one I'm getting tobacco on the nose. A ton.
This is steaky.
Yeah. All right. And this one more raspberry than cherry on the nose when you're going for the fruit part.
Whoa. Definitely closer to number one for me. That pucker factor on the top end is
interesting. I'm not getting that.
Really?
This is still closer to number two, but it is different than. I'm not saying it's the same as number two, but it's gentler. The tannins aren't as harsh, which I'm going to go with. It's probably been aged a bit more. I'm thinking this is, that first one is probably one of our cheaper 2017s, whereas these two are going to be more the 2015s, maybe. I just feel like that extra couple of years probably is having a really sincere effect. This one,
I will say, I can easily drink half a bottle of this.
I was going to say, this might be my favorite one so far.
It is extraordinarily drinkable. I mean, they're all drinkable.
They're all drinkable. This is the least.
This
harsh.
Requires less. Yes, this requires less involvement.
This is definitely the least harsh. It is flavor-wise, though. There is something.
You know what it is for me? I'm getting. This is radical. Mineral into petroleum. That is so.
No. Yes.
That is. It's a petroleum.
I was going to say plastic.
It's a yes.
There's something. There's something artificial. The person who handing us glasses, Swayze, is she's making a. We're naming,
our descriptions of the wine are not.
Oh my goodness.
Not pleasing her.
Yeah.
Not even a little.
She's making faces. She's like, "How do you drink this stuff?"
Yes. It's a mineral into sort of petroleum.
I would almost say, Concord grapes, and they have when you break the skin on a Concord grape, there's this instant like a fume that comes out, and it tastes like. And if you ever had Concord grape jelly, I feel like this is the bad part of the flavor underlying all the sweetness and the goodness of the Concord grape jelly. Okay. Concord grapes always have that almost petroleum-esque, plasticky element to the flavor, and that's in this wine somehow. Very true. And that is the one part that is not recommended on this one. It doesn't work well, I don't think. Everything else works, but that is a little off. It's not what it's supposed to be.
It's too sharp. It's dominant.
It's almost like it sours. When you first put it in your mouth, you're like, and then in the aftertaste, that starts to come in, and it overpowers any other aftertaste.
Yeah.
To it, yeah.
It's a very light version of the fume you get when you're pumping gasoline.
Gas, yeah. Very light though, not
very light. Yes, we're not drinking kerosene or gas.
Oh yeah, okay, all right. I'm gonna say that's a sip later as we continue to compare. But all right, number 4.
I actually need to keep tabs of what I'm thinking.
Oh, you do? Okay. Next time we're going to have notepads so we can write notes when we do one of these blind tastings. Of course, next time we might not have 6. We have 6 today. That's a bit extreme. I think most of the time we'll do like 3 or 4 max.
Go big or go home. Right?
Go big or go home. Maybe we'll have like a dozen. It's a good smell.
That's floral.
That is floral and fruity.
That's floral.
This smells like something you chill and drink on a summer day. All right.
Okay. Favorite so far.
Yep. That's the best one. That's the best one.
Hands down.
Hands down.
It is the most well-rounded, for lack of a better phrase.
Yes. It does have a little bit of a sharp alcohol. On the nose, the alcohol almost overpowers other scents that are coming in.
Oh, that's pleasant.
But oh my god, that's actually drinking it, actually sipping it, that is joyous.
That's pleasant. Wow. Oh, there's a very faint cotton candy. Are you getting that?
Yeah. It's almost not sugar sweet. There's no sugar in this, or not. No true amount of residual sugar.
Sweet nose, a sweet smell.
But it's completely dry. But it's a sweet smell. It's got a little bit of sweet, like cotton candy grapes. Where you get that, and especially right around the mid palate, where it's like you haven't quite swallowed it yet, and you get almost like it's going to get sweet. It doesn't, but it's that kind of sweetness where it's like it tricks your brain into thinking it's going to be sweet, like sugary sweet, and then it's completely dry, but it's delicious. And it is. Yeah. I'm definitely getting like rose. Like there is a heavy floral element on this one that is not present in the others. Like something real, and again, that really pleasant floral like rose, where you're just like something you could just sniff all day long. That's good. And the smoothest.
This is fantastic.
Even though those tannins are still present, your mouth still gets dry. And this one, I'm salivating more in this one, so the acidity is better. It's balanced with the tannins, much better.
Yeah, this follows up with some very lovely saliva.
All right. All right. So I know which is my favorite and least favorite so far. The 2 middle ones I'm going to have to taste again later.
I'm getting a bottle of whatever this is.
There you go. There you go. Watch be one of the cheap ones, which would be amazing. It would be amazing. It won't be, but it would be amazing. All right, number 5. All right.
And we're doing 6?
6? I know.
Oh, garnet.
Yeah. And this one, now I am smelling all the spice in this one. This one I'm getting all those things you usually hear about Nebbiolo, where you get that cinnamon nutmeg.
You get the spice.
Sure.
Oh. This feels celebratory.
This is what I've always heard people use this word, and I've never thought to use this word in a wine myself before, but this one, opulent. Yeah. Mouthfeel wise. Yeah. It is, but it's not like number 1.
It's silky.
Silky. Number 1 coated your mouth and made you need water. It coated your mouth and almost like cemented it shut.
Yeah. There's a bugger factor in number 1. Yeah.
This one coats your mouth and it's like, it's sinuous. Like it's not, you're just like, it just slips right down and you're like, that's...
Chocolatey. It's the feel of good chocolate.
Yeah, chocolatey's good. Chocolatey's good.
Okay, yeah. These last two have been lovely.
So far, yeah. And that is, you know, this one, very subtle in flavor again. It's very mellow. So I'm maybe more... Yeah, 4 and 5 so far might be the two old... Because there are two 2015s in this batch.
Okay.
One 2016... No, two 2016s, two 2015s, two 2017s. Okay, so everything's... These, I think these two so far trying to convince me they're the 2015s.
Yeah.
Because of how mellow they are compared to the others. But we have one more to go, so we shall see.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right, what we're going to do is...
number 5 is
Save a sip, so when we go back to try and rank them, we can make sure we're putting them in the order. Because some of these are close, like 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 are going to be hard to figure out. So far, number 1 is the only one that I know where that's going. All right,
not so much.
Number 6, finale.
Bring it on.
Let's do it.
Let's get all of these raw.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Color, lovely color.
You know, this one's smelling like number 1. Yeah. Not looking forward to going back to it, I guess.
Ooh, that's surprising though. Oh well.
Okay. You know what? Hold on. Number 1. No, you know what? Number 1 is still better on the nose. This might be the worst one on the nose.
This is seems really immature. Feels really immature.
Ooh. Yeah, it's much better on the... Yeah. The nose has... It's not petroleum like in number 3.
No.
But there's something there that's not quite lovely.
It's the alcohol. Yeah. That's...
Maybe it's just a mushroomy smell. But I haven't gotten too much of a mushroom. Even the one that was earthy didn't have really a mushroom smell. And this one's throwing me off with that. Yeah, it's mushroom is what I'm smelling. It's a very, like, root vegetable section of the grocery store smell.
I get the soil.
Yeah.
I don't get the mushroom yet, but I get the soil.
But...
definitely, number 6 is easily more drinkable
than number 1. I think so, though I just smelled number 1. I like the smell of number 1 better. Because again, it smells like port. God damn. This thing is so port-like. It's ridiculous.
It's like they aged it in.
Yeah, it's like non-fortified port. Yeah, like ruby port's in. So, yeah. My God, it smells like port. Oh.
Tawny port.
Tawny port, yeah.
Ruby
Sorry.
port. There
Okay, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? You're right.
Right?
Okay, you know what? Because...
Right.
Huh. Now that I've had the other 5, that one's the worst by far.
That is right.
Holy. I'm not going to curse again. I've already cursed one. Ah, yeah, holy fuck balls. I've cursed already.
Oh. Also, I'm a lightweight, so I'm going to be drunk in the...
Me too. But, my God, after having all the other 5 and going back... Number 1 smells amazing, because I didn't used to like port, but I love port now.
The aroma of a port, for sure.
And the aroma of port, yeah, is delicious. But the tannins in this one are nuts. I mean, they hit you so hard. And Nebbiolo is known for being very tannic, but this one needs years to go before it's ready.
All right, so going back to number 1. Often when I'm approaching wine, I like to imagine the food that it may complement. Or that it parallels in some way. And this is... Have you ever had... I shouldn't say this. Goat meat?
Oh, yeah.
There's a thing with goat meat. It's it's a certain flavor on the back end that is...
I feel like this is true with goat cheese as well.
Very true.
Yes.
Very true with goat cheese.
Yeah.
It is an acquired taste.
Yes. And if you like it, it's pungent and punch you in the mouth enough that it's like you'll love it.
Yes.
But that's the same with like anise black licorice for me, where it's like I love that flavor and so many people do not. At the very least, they don't like black licorice itself.
And that sort of taste often puts people off. And
right.
I'm getting that with number
I
one.
gotta try one more, and I gotta get past the tannins and actually taste it. That last sip.
The tannins are harsh. The tannins are really
the
hard
last
here.
sip, the tannins stopped me cold. I could not get it down my throat. Hold up.
Okay. No, I know it's in last place.
Yeah, it's this one. It's okay. Put it here on the very bottom. Put yours somewhere on.
We'll go
towards the
Yes.
center together. Okay. All right. So our number. Oh, where's mine? There it is. Wow. Okay. This table extends much further down the line. Okay, we'll put number 1 there. Yeah, put that in there. There we go. I'm pretty sure number 6 is going to come in second place for me, or second to last place, I should say.
I have to go back to number 3 here.
It's mellower than number 1, but suffers a lot of the same issues.
Holy smokes.
This one just
Petroleum. That is just...
I know.
Okay. Yeah, for me.
You, it's that one?
Yeah.
Hold on.
I just can't get around the petroleum.
Yeah, no, not number 2. You know what? All right. 3, then 6. Yeah. And then 2 for me. Save space here. We're running out of camera frame space.
We look like we have a problem, actually.
Yeah. Too many damn lines. Okay, so we'll do like 3, then 1, then 3.
Yeah, it's 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then for me, I think it's number 2, and 4 and 5 are definitely at the top.
Oh, no.
No. 1, 3, 2, 6, huh?
No. Okay, we're good.
1, 3, 6, 2. Okay. There you go. All right. So these are, as you can see, we've got our bottom 4 kind of all matched up.
Yeah.
Yeah. None of us disagreed. So now,
All right, now blindly, don't tell me your choice for number 1, and I won't tell you my choice for number 1.
All right.
But on the count of 3, we will place our number.
Absolutely.
Want me to give you a 3, 2, 1?
Not yet. Give me a minute. But yeah. Oh, this is just fantastic. Okay.
I know.
Hearty versus...
Are you thinking 5 is heartier?
5 is definitely heartier.
Yeah. You know, they're both mellow enough, though.
Oh, that's
All right, I've made my choice.
This is a celebration wine. Okay, I'm ready.
You ready?
All right. Pick
3,
your favorite one in 3, 2, 1.
5.
5.
Yep. Hearty over. This one is, like you said, it's celebration wine. It's so quaffable. It's so drinkable. But it's almost to the point of being too characterless.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's missing the character of number 5, even though it's hearty in a way that can be a little taster's choice. It stands out.
Yeah.
For that reason. And it's still so good. Like, the things that make it stand out aren't negatives like the other 4. You know, so I think at this point, the other 4, the things that stood out were something that made them slightly off, and we had to give them lower rankings. But these 2, 4 was just so smooth, and it gets a lot of credit for being this smooth, but it's too smooth.
So I think with 5, this is a bottle of wine I would want to savor, without question.
Yes.
This is a bottle of wine.
Chug.
I would not chug, but I'm definitely having 4 or 5 glasses at the wedding. Right. Yeah, that's the difference.
Especially if it's one of those $80 to $120 bottles of wine, no chugging.
Absolutely.
No chugging. You got to savor it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how smooth it is. So, all right. So we have 1, 3, 6, 2, 4, then 5.
5.
I will put those like in front right there. All right. So now we need to know what everything is. Are you ready to reveal them, like, right off the bat right here? Okay.
I'm gonna grab both.
So we're going to start at the bottom.
So you think, so your favorite is the most expensive?
Well, I don't... The top three are all pretty comparable price-wise.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So we'll just have to see... Because one of the reasons I decided to have three expensive ones was if you just have one, it could pretty easily get misplaced. But with three of them, it's sort of like, well, does one top those other two? And it'd be hysterical if all three are not in the top. If there's somewhere near... Like, if number one is one of those top three, I'll be pissed. All right, so Swayze, let us know what is in glass number one, which ranked the dead last.
You don't want to do your favorite first?
Oh, no.
God.
No, bottom last.
No.
Bottom
All
last.
right.
Absolutely.
Number one, what is in glass number one?
Glass number one, and I'm going to mispronounce all of these.
No worries.
Is Le Genestre.
Oh, no, it's one of the expensive ones! Guys. And one of the oldest, 2015.
Oh, it's a 2015.
It's a 2015 Barolo, La Genestre, Scaro Castello di Novello. Oh my goodness. So there you go. One of the priciest bottles here today. We ranked third bottom.
And we're trash. We're trash. We're trash.
We apparently don't know what good Barolo is. Oof.
Okay. This is...
Yep. Shocking.
Well.
See, this is why we do it. This is why we're doing this. Oh, shit.
Wow.
Man.
Maybe
Man.
it's just the...
So I will open this tonight to finish off. Just get it out of the way, apparently.
Maybe I'm missing something. Let's start. Let's hold on. Let me dig back into this one.
I just took my last sip and I'm like, I mean, it's still about the same. We apparently do not appreciate the finer things in life. Okay, we got to say that.
Maybe it's just the tax.
The taxes?
The tariffs on the bottle.
The tariffs on the bottle. Yeah, I don't know how much that actually imported by Libra LLC from Miami, Florida. Don't know if that changes anything. Probably doesn't. All right.
Okay, so number six.
Number six. Let's see number six. Which is our second to last.
Yeah.
And that is Rosa del Olmo.
Rosa del Olmo. One of the This is one of the cheap Trader Joe's. So at least the second to last is one of the cheap ones. All right. So this is, if you guys can see that right there, this is the one from Trader Joe's that ranks lower, at least as far as the two of us are concerned. It's a question. Okay, here. Let me try. Yeah, it's not great. Yeah. It's not great. That one's not great either.
Yeah, it's a wine.
It's a wine. It's got the tannins. Yeah, it's still just very hard. Too harsh. That one makes a little more sense though because it's 2017.
Yeah.
So it's much younger. 2 years younger than the La Genestre.
How long did we let the La Genestre sit?
I mean, at least an hour. Yeah. So these had all opened by the time we were drinking them. Yeah, unfortunately, can't give them that easy out. Nope. All right, well let's try number. So the next one is number 3. This is the petroleum. No, this is the petroleum. Yeah, no. This is our petroleum.
Please don't be the good one.
Okay, number 3, our middle ground, creatine.
Okay.
All right. Oh, okay. This is the dead middle of the road. Mm-hmm. So this is the one from Whole Foods that we got. Criterion.
Mm-hmm. Criterion.
And these guys, this is actually a little fun factoid. So Criterion is what's called a negociant or dénégocié wine seller. So they're not the wine maker or the farmer that actually grows the wines. Criterion basically buys excess wine that has been made. And here's a fun fact about Barolo, actually. Part of the regulations go with that territory is you're only allowed to release a certain number of bottles per label, per brand. And after that, you've reached your quotient. Like, that's it. You're not allowed... And that way they know you're only using the best grapes when you release your bottles, and everything else you have to sell off in some other way that is not you. And that's where Negotiant wine comes in. So Criterion is a both the Trader Joe's Barolos will also be Negotiant bottles, like without question. If you look up the names and the labels, like in this case, it's that Rosa del Olmo. I think the other one is Corto Rosso or something like that. You won't find any information about them. They don't really exist. They are labels, just to sell off the excess. And the excess will always be, it could be just as good as the rest of it, and they just had more of the wine. So that's what you're betting on when you get that, and it could be. And so far, the other Trader Joe's bottle hasn't shown up yet. So it's obviously ranked higher than this one. But this one, plainly not the best of the crop. Criterion was not bad though, but it had that petroleum thing.
It's just too acute.
Yeah,
it just overshadowed everything else.
It was strange. It
almost feels like an additive.
Yeah. All right.
What's next? Number
Your
4.
4.
We'll move that out so I can get a little bit of FaceTime here and not just be hidden behind the bottles. There we go.
So your 4th choice, which was bottle number
2. Number 2.
Was glass number 2.
Yep. That's the one.
So it came in 3rd place. Is Corte Rosa, which
that's the other Trader Joe's. There we go. Wow, all the way to 4th place. So guys,
this is 3rd place.
This is very good.
Yeah.
And this is one of the under $15 bottles of Barolo. So if this is still at Trader Joe's, whenever you see this, I'm going to put it up here.
Total recommend.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's let you see the label there. Yeah. So yeah, if you can find that guy, it's highly recommended. That one, especially for the price. Yeah. I mean, it's beaten out the $30 bottle from Whole Foods, and it beat out one of the expensive bottles. That one's at the very bottom. So I don't know what happened there. I feel like maybe we got a bad bottle. I mean, I feel bad for that one, but it was. I mean, it was unanimous. That one was not that one was by far not the best and the worst of the batch. Okay, so the runner-up, glass number 4, the one that is so quaffable, Dallas calls it a celebration wine.
It is.
Glass number 4, you have an expensive wine called Pira.
Yes! Pira. So, Pira's a fun one.
Yeah, lovely.
Because this is one of the few wines, and few Barolo wines, it's Pira Barolo from Marenca. If you want to see, I'll show Dallas this one, the Marenca right there. All right? Now, Marenca is a particular, even smaller area. There are only 2 bottles that are ever released that are 100% from Marenca, and this is one of them. And that's it in the world. Like, no, there are no other bottles that are 100% from Marenca, and this is one. So I'm glad this ranked way up there. This one is so smooth, so fruity, and so just easy drinking that we give it credit for that. But it was topped by glass number 5. Simply for all of the character that it also added that was all good character rather than something that turned us off. So number 5 is, and this is actually no surprise, or it's not a surprise to me. I know which one this is now by process of elimination. Go ahead, honey.
Number 5 is Paruso.
Yes. And Paruso, I mean, they got the rep. This was the most expensive one that I bought. So, I mean, it kind of makes sense. Paruso is known for Barolo. It's what they do. And I will say, in this case, they totally live up to the rep.
It is. Yeah. It's actually sensual. It's actually sensual.
That is amazing. Yeah. That one makes you realize why Barolo is a thing.
Yeah, this is wedding nights.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, that is our 6 blind tastings. As you can see, it was a bit of a mixed bag. It's not what you expect. Yeah. One of the Trader Joe's came out in the top 3. The middle of the road one was still on the bottom 3. Yeah. One of our pricey Barolos, which went for over $50 a bottle normally, was at the dead bottom.
But maybe we got a bad bottle.
Well, yeah, we'll just hide that one so you don't see the brand anymore. Just
they're great. They're lovely. Go buy all.
Maybe
of
we had
wines.
a bad bottle. Maybe another year's vintage will be better. But man, that one did not do it for us. Holy cow! Holy cow!
Yeah. And I will say, I had difficulty deciding between that one in last place or the petroleum. We should not refer to it as
petroleum was actually number 3. You didn't even have it in number 2.
Yeah, it was one of those things. I was like, okay, if I could just remove the petroleum. This
the Criterion one. There were a lot of elements that were good, but then also that one element that was atrocious.
Yeah.
And it almost, for me, it didn't overpower it enough to be in the bottom 2.
Agreed.
But
yeah.
Your mileage may vary on these things. Anyway.
We're drunk now.
We're drunk.
And rambling. So.
And also, remember to check out the comics that we paired this with. Mine was the Cat. Yeah, so we traded, and we're going to trade.
We did.
Cats of Ostia Antica from Tinto Press.
And mine
the artist Julien Brier.
CHIAROSCURO by Tony Little. Sorry, Troy.
Troy, yeah. Troy Little.
IDW title, by the way.
Released by IDW, I don't know when, but a classic of the self-publishing scene back in the day. Totally worth checking out. These are amazing, and if you can find a nice Barolo, especially from Trader Joe's, and if you do Trader Joe's, do this one.
Yeah. Back to this. If you're looking for something that ends in a nice, neat, tidy bow, don't.
Though, dude. This is a dumb in one, for sure. And it's gorgeous. All right. That's it for episode 2. Thank you. Good night. We will see you next time where we drink one wine and one wine only.
3. We're probably more entertaining when we're intoxicated.
We won't do the blind taste test probably for a little bit of time after this. But this was fun. All right, guys. Yeah. Have a good one.
Thanks,
see you
guys.
next time. Bye-bye.
Drink wine. Read comics. Be interesting. Okay.
There you go. More drop in the glass. That's amazing. Oh, we're not lushes. We're not drunks. We're not alcoholics. We're not winos. Actually,
bad.
So bad.
That's why there's some left. Exactly. Okay. All right.
I do like to say we are your wino windbags, and Dallas just proved this is true. We are winos. We are windbags. We talk a lot. Anyway,
we will talk at length about anything.
Welcome to the Wine and Comics Pairing Show. I'm Dave.
And I'm Dallas.
And we're filming... we're filming this out of order. We're already a little tipsy, a little drunk. Kids, drink. It's amazing.